So my question was, it seems kind of silly because I see a psychologist for these issues, but I have a lot of anger, and if I cry a little, I apologize. I have a lot of anger in myself, and I wanted your advice of how to overcome it because I'm having a lot of problems with it.
That is so easy to overcome. Can you give me an example of why you're angry at yourself? What have you done
Because
that caused you to be angry at you?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because I'm 35 years old, and I'm still living with my mom trying to finish college. And I'll be honest, I'm so sick of having to hear her and my stepfather fighting. And I hope she doesn't hear this, but if she does, oh well. It's had an impact on me. And I'm just like, I shouldn't have to be listening to this. I'm trying to stay by myself in my room. And during this lockdown, I finally saw the state park was open. I've been walking, and, every now and then I pray, and I'm just still finding angry. In my head, I call myself all these horrible names. And my psychologist said I need to stop doing that. And I'm like, well, I don't know how to.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing you're paying that psychologist all that money and he or she has no answers for you?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask,
Yes,
so you're mad at yourself for staying with your mother?
I'm mad at myself for getting angry and lashing out at her and everybody else around me.
Why
And yes,
are
I'm
you
mad at
getting
myself
angry at her if she and her husband are fighting? It has nothing to do with you.
because I have to hear it, and then I have to get yelled at when I ask if everything's okay. And I know that it's not my problem, but I just want peace in the household.
Why don't you get a job and move out?
Yes, sir. That's something I'm working on.
But what is
That's
hard?
something I'm working on.
What is hard? Is it hard to get a job and go get yourself a little place or near the school and just work
Right now.
part time?
Yes, sir. Right now it is. Trust me, I'm looking around. I just need a little studio for myself,
Yeah.
apartment. But
Yeah.
and I've had this anger since I was a lot younger.
Right,
And,
right. Sarah, hold on
I don't know
again.
if it's because I'm disabled or not.
No, hold on, Sarah. I'm going to tell you how it's so easy to overcome. No big deal. You're going to be free after this call.
Yes, sir.
So hold on for me. I got to take a top of the hour break. I hope your phone hold on for you. And if it doesn't, call me back again. Call back. But hold on. Let me take a top of the hour news break. This is an amazing call. This is so easy. We'll get you on the right track. Sarah, you still there?
Yes, sir.
So you say you have a disability. What is that?
Panic and anxiety disorder. I was diagnosed years ago. I have anxiety attacks in large crowds. And sometimes it gets so bad that I have to pull over to the side of the road so that I can, deep breathe and then go back to driving.
That's amazing. And so,
Yes, sir.
and so that is deemed it's called. Are you on medications?
Unfortunately, I am. And I have to say that I think I convinced myself years ago that my disability or disorder, whatever you want to call it, was actually God's way of showing his strength in me. And how he shows people's strength through their weaknesses, or his strength through their weaknesses. I'm sorry. That's how I try to look at it. Just to, I've gotten a lot better, but I still have that anger in myself.
Yeah.
And
what? And so you're ready to overcome all that, right?
Sir.
You're ready to overcome this anger, right?
Yes, sir. I've been ready to overcome it for years. And every time I think I do well, then something follows me back. And I'm just like, why do I keep doing this?
Yeah, yeah. So, Sarah, how did you find the show?
Just browsing through YouTube, and I started listening to you, and a lot of what you said was true. And you also crack me up a lot with your amazing and beta stuff, and you just make me laugh. And I've shared some of your videos with my friends, and they crack up, and then they listen, and they're like, "Wow, he's got a lot of truth in what he's saying." That's why I listen to him as much as I can. And listening to your show brings me some peace.
Right on. So, Sarah, you know how you have these anxiety attacks, you have this anger, and it's not what you want, but you can't help it. It's like something is controlling you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
That's the way your mother is. That came from your mother. She has you have the spirit of your mother in you, And the way you feel is what your mother is feeling. She cannot help herself.
Yes, sir.
And
She's been through a lot of crap, and I forgive her.
Did you
don't
tell
want
her
to.
why do you forgive her?
I forgive her because when we were younger, and my father cheated on her first, and then she cheated on him. Two wrongs do not make a right. And as a child, I blamed my mom, actually. I didn't blame my dad.
Yeah.
And then and then I could see my dad's faults too. So I'm still learning to fully forgive both of them. But, I love both of them to death. And, I pray for them all the time. But I'm my own person.
Well,
I'm sorry.
You don't love her. You may love your father, but you don't love your mother. And
that's disgusting, isn't it?
no, it's just holding you back from peace within yourself. It's wrong to judge your mother, but as a child, you couldn't help yourself because your father did not protect you from your mother. So you couldn't help yourself. And so that anger separated you from God. And so the problem with having anger toward your parents, it keeps you from God, and you live in the same darkness and the hell that they're living in. Because when you have anger, it's the same as hate. And when you hate, you're judging. When you judge, you're playing God. And if you were to, and so the reason to forgive is because you're playing God. And when you play God, you're sinning. Any human being that has anger is in sin. That's what it means to be in sin. You're playing God. So if you want to be free of all that anxiety, get to know yourself, and you will see that you can't help yourself. And that will cause you to see that your mother could not help herself. And you should go to her and forgive her for what she's done because she couldn't help it. Don't sugarcoat her. Don't say, "Oh, Mom, I love you." You don't love her because you have that resentment. Anyone who has anger don't have love. And so
that is very true.
Yeah, so when you forgive her, God will forgive you, and then he will make a home in you, and real love will operate through you, and the anxiety will disappear because the anxiety is the nature of Satan.
Absolutely.
In anger, there's nothing but anxiety, worry, doubt, fear. You're subject to your environment. So you need to forgive your mother so God can forgive you and you can come back to your natural state of being. You are not yourself. Yes. You are your mother.
Yes, sir. And another person I still haven't forgiven is my stepmother. She treated us horribly growing up.
Yeah.
I've got to learn to forgive her, but
well, you don't need to learn. You don't need to learn to do it. You need to go and do it as when you realize you do resent them, and it's going to be the hardest thing you will ever have to do in life. But it'll be you will never have that type of fear again of anyone.
Okay.
And,
thank you.
And you need to forgive your father for not protecting you from your stepmother and your mother. Because your father is still subject to women. Women are his God. His mother is his God. He hates women. So all women are his God. And he's going from woman to woman trying to get something that was lost. His mother took away his innocence, and she made him subject to her. And he never dealt with his mother the right way. So when he married your mother or got with your mother became his mother. And he became the boy. And that's why he went and cheated, because he tried to find peace through the woman, and he's never going to find it.
Yes, sir. And I still see that right now.
Yeah.
In him. But that, there's other reasons I have anger issues, but it stems from childhood trauma that I, should forget. But it was actually in school. At 35, I should forget and forgive.
Well, once you forgive, sir, once you forgive, you will forget. You're going to grow in God. Your real self, your spiritual self will grow, and it's going to be as though you don't have a past, never had a past or a future. You will forget. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, sir.
He's going to renew your mind and give you back yourself. But right now, you are your mother. You're not yourself.
Correct. I don't want to take up all your time, sir.
No, that's what I'm here for. You're doing fine.
I really appreciate your show. I really do. And for your comment, you're hilarious. You crack me up so much. You really do. There's times when you have me in tears laughing.
So
and I have.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I have a lesbian sister who's married to a woman, and they do not vaccinate their son. And it's awkward for me because it's in the family. That's in the family, and I didn't mean to go off topic, but I never suspected anything from her of doing that, and I personally think she went based off of her friends growing up because they claimed to be gay, and my belief is it's a choice you make. It's not a
it's not a choice you make. Your mother recreated her too. She has the same mother you have, and she hates her mother so much and then in that anger you become attracted to what you hate. And so she's not going to have sex with her mothers, so she go out and have sex with women who have the spirit of the mother.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So your sister cannot help herself.
Right. And I've got a good friend, and my only problem with her is she's she's of the gay community, and I'm not, I'm nice to them. I just, there's something it's just unnatural, and it's unnatural to me. I went with a friend to church, and it was a woman pastor, and I felt so uncomfortable because to me, I don't think women should be pastors.
Right.
I just don't. I'm sorry. They can call me whatever they want. I don't think women should be president. I say this as a woman.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But here's what I want. I want you to overcome the anxiety, and you can overcome it. But you got to go and face your mother.
Okay.
And I'm recommending you go to her and say, Mother, I forgive you for screwing up my life. You recreated me in your image. You turned me away from my father. I forgive you for that. You were wrong. Don't ask for forgiveness. And if she get mad, that's fine. If she start crying, that's fine. If she bake a cake, that's fine. If she tell you to get out, that's fine. You just observe her as though you're watching a movie, and don't ask for forgiveness. You forgive her. Don't apologize for the things you have done, because as a kid and as you were growing up, you couldn't help yourself. She created you in her image, so you were living. You were the mirror image of your mother. You couldn't help yourself. All right.
Yes, sir.
But you got to go to her and forgive her. You got to shake in your boots. But it's the last time.
My heart's already pounding.
But it's the last time. Yeah, but it's the last time you will have to shake in your boots.
Yes, sir.
And then you go to your father and forgive him for not protecting you from these women. He could not help himself.
Yes, sir.
Will you do that?
Yes, sir, I will.
And listen, are you doing my silent prayer video?
I didn't know you had those.
Yeah, I want you to go to my YouTube channel, and I have silent prayer video. I want you to start doing that because you are living in your imagination, you live in your head, and you believe the thoughts about everything. And that's what got you going crazy, like having all these anxiety attacks, because those thoughts are building you up. They're letting you down. They're building you up. They're letting you down because you are believing them. You are not your thoughts, and those thoughts are not from God, and all thoughts are lies. So you got to start doubting every thought.
Yes, sir.
But as long as you have that anger, and you're not going to be able to doubt the thoughts, because the thoughts are from Satan, and Satan is your daddy until you forgive your mother and father. Then God, you will be born of the Spirit, and God will become your father. Then you can live your life.
Yes, sir.
So
thank you so much.
I want you to, if you want to be free, don't worry about your lesbian sister at this point. Don't worry about your lesbian friends and all that. They got their issues. They cannot help themselves either. They came from the same parents. Your sister came from the same parent that you did, and she has the same anger, and she's dealing with it the best way she can.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't mean you accept it as a right, but don't hate her for it. She can't help it.
Oh, I don't. Well, I say I don't hate, and then there's the anger, so I don't.
Yeah, so if you have anger, you do have hate. It's
Yes,
just
sir.
that it used to be called hate, but society keeps softening the words so you can feel better about it.
Yes, sir.
But so right now, you'll be able to see how to deal with everything else, but one step at a time. Do the silent prayer video.
So,
Go to
okay.
yeah. I'm gonna have Nick tell you how to get it. Um,
Okay.
um, go to your mother. You got to shake in your boots and just say, "Hey, I want to tell you, mother, I forgive you for what you've done to me. You're just a psychotic kind of a woman. I know now you can't help yourself. The way you raised us and treat us was wrong, but I'm wrong for hating you for it because I become like you. You are just like your mother, except that it's getting worse with each generation. Just as good get better in each generation, evil get worse in each generation that don't
Oh, yeah.
overcome.
Yes, sir.
So will you do
Yes,
that?
sir. Yes, sir, I will.
Will you let me know how it goes?
I will. Thank you so much, Mr. Peterson.
And you're welcome, Sarah. And then you'll be able to stay there until you're able to move without being affected by the yelling and the screaming that she and her husband are going through, because it really has nothing to do with you. It's just that your mother made you identify with her, so it feels like it's happening to you, but it's not happening to you. It's happening to them.
Yes, sir. And my problem is I have always tried to fix their
Yeah.
problems and
Yeah.
try to help and make it easy, and make things calmer. And it just blows up in my face every time.
Because you can't fix someone else. You have to become an example. And if they don't want to overcome, just let them suffer. They have to suffer and
Yes,
die.
sir.
There's nothing
One
you
of-
can do about it.
Yes, sir. One of the guys that she had dated a couple of years ago used to say the nastiest things about my mother, and I would just sit there and take it while he would speak on the phone to me. And I thought by taking the verbal abuse from him, somehow it would help their relationship. And when my mom found out, she was furious with him for doing that,
Right.
telling me all that stuff. And, I've got to learn to stop being an enabler, I guess, is what I am.
No, listen, you don't have to learn that either. You need to overcome your fallen state, and everything will be made clear to you. Don't try to learn anything. You have God inside, you have the Holy Spirit, you have
I do.
Christ inside of you, and they will teach you all things. You don't have to try to learn anything. You just need to live in the present instead of in your head. There is no yesterday, there is no tomorrow, but you're lost in that environment, fake environment, because you have anger. Once you overcome that
Yes,
anger,
sir.
Sarah, by forgiving your mothers and your father, you're going to be free. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, sir.
So I want you to go do it and let me know how it goes.
I will let you know. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for listening to my rambling on.
No,
I appreciate it.
it's fun. But I want you to know the anxiety will leave when the anger leaves. And you'll find yourself living in a crazy world, but you'll be living from within, and it's an amazing world on the inside of you. It's amazing.
Yes, sir. And may I ask you another question?
Yes.
Okay. So when I was younger, I was physically abused by a majority of people were black girls,
Yes.
and I've grown this. I guess I'm going to say hatred
Yeah.
of them,
Yeah.
and I don't like that because they're not all like that. But I'm talking smacking me, punching me, and I just took it. I didn't fight back. I never fought back
And why didn't you fight back?
because they were a lot bigger than me, and I was fearful. I was
Yeah. Yeah, I understand.
in the 6th grade. These girls were in the 10th grade.
Yeah.
So,
I
shame on the
understand.
bus driver.
I,
But that was so long ago. I shouldn't have that animosity, and I still do.
But I understand what you mean, because when I grew up in Alabama, but I would go up to Indiana, and a couple of times I went to school in Indiana. I remember going to, when I was in the 11th grade, I went to high school for a minute in Indiana, and I was shocked at the violence that came from the blacks. Because I didn't grow up that way in Alabama. Black people were not that way in the South. And I went to Indiana, and I had a white friend because I was afraid of the blacks. And because they were so violent, and they were fighting in school, they were fighting on the bus, and so I understand the fear. They used to try to fight my white friend I had. But listen, when you forgive your mother and your father, all that's going to disappear. All the anger in your heart would disappear. Don't worry about it. You got to deal with the cause of why you went through that. And the cause is that you had no good parents. They were not perfect examples for you. And that made you fall and that caused you to fall into a fallen state. And so you start hating them. And once you start hating them, you hate everything that happened to you, right? So once you start loving them by forgiving them, then everything that you hated would disappear and you will have nothing but love, the real love. You're not going to be able to feel the love. You can't taste it. You can't touch it. Real love, but it's a light unto your feet. It will guide you in life.
Yes, sir.
So don't worry about that. Yeah, don't worry about that. That would disappear as well because God would take the nature of Satan away from you.
Yes, sir.
So
thank you for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, all the crap you picked up while in that fallen state would disappear. Don't worry about that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much for talking to me, Mr. Peterson.
You're welcome.
I really hope you have a wonderful week, and God bless you.
Same for you, Sarah. So listen, do the silent prayer video.
Yes,
Go
sir.
forgive your mother. Speak up. And you're going to shake in your boot, but don't cower down. You forgive her because you need to so you can return to God, all right?
Yes, sir, will do.
And then forgive your father for not protecting you. Say, hey, Dad, you didn't protect me from my mother and my stepmother. That was wrong, and I'm sorry for holding that against you. And I'm telling you, it's going to blow your mind.
Yes, sir.
So hold on for Nick, Sarah. He's going to tell you how to go to the YouTube channel and get the silent prayer video. And I want you to call me back when you deal with your parents, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I will. Thank you so much, Mr. Peterson. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed week.
Thank you. You too, Sarah. It's going to be amazing. You're about to live. If you do what I tell you, what I advise for you,
sir.
You are about to live. God loves you, and he wants you to come back to the Father, and he'll take care of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on, Sarah. Nick, tell Sarah how to get the silent prayer video for me. Thank you. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.